All right. Good afternoon, everybody. So let's do our market report. We're just rolling into the end of lunch, New York time. It's about 12:45 in New York. It's about 6:45 a.m. here in Honolulu. Interesting market day, right, guys? We've been talking about it the last few days. There was like a fatigue. There was like a depression in the market. Money was sad. It just wasn't active. It wasn't motivated, right? And it looks like we shook that off this morning. The big conundrum, of course, is Apple, right? Apple really been a leader for a decade now. The market's been making new highs, uh, starting to do these bull legs and stuff, and Apple's just not reacting. Apple did a good job this morning. It started off red, it got down a buck or so, and it just moved back up into green. It's kind of flat right now. But let's see if that starts resuming that uptrend there, move back to that 145 all-time high. We think it will. At some point, we've got a bet in, and then those options expire on Friday. So there you go, your crazy trader, cross fingers trading. But you can see it this morning, right? A lot of life came back to the market. Crypto market is up. Gold is got a nice little bullish morning. Oil started off real red. It's kind of moved back into the green. Just across the board, right? Foreign markets, you'll see like Asia, once we close and Asia opens, it'll mimic what we do and it'll start getting a little more bullish. Not much on the economic front right now. We did have Netflix earnings last night, and we'll have some big ones today. And we'll roll into bigger and bigger. Of course, next week, the rest of the FANGs start reporting: Facebook, Amazon, and Google, Alphabet. Will get on the board. So let's see if this is enough to motivate it and to get Apple back in. We're not going to give up on that trade. The Ollie trade is just going off. It's a great trade, and the energy trade, of course, we set that up into the middle of summer, late summer, but that's already starting to show some good life. Despite these shutdowns, right? Canada's on a big shutdown right now, India and things like that really hurt oil overnight, but it's recovered very strong. And I think that's because the market is looking forward a little bit more that, yeah, right now we've got certain pockets in the globe that are still in shutdowns, but we've got a lot of big pockets like China, the US, and things like that that are really starting to move forward. And the reopening. The big issue right now, guys, is labor, the labor force. And that's why we're waiting for tomorrow to see that labor report, to see if we continue on that good uptrend that we started the last couple of weeks. You're seeing reports, right? There was a lady on Fox Business News this morning, a young lady, business owner in Georgia, was talking about it's almost impossible to get people to come back to work. There's probably a couple reasons for that. You know what I mean? One is apprehension of course, the disease, the COVID disease, right? People aren't real 100% confident about going back to work, okay? The beach is different. But there's that apprehension. And then, of course, too, you're going to get this argument that unemployment benefits were overdone and you make more money on unemployment for doing nothing than you would make going back to work. So, that's up to business. Business can resolve that simply by making it more profitable to go back to work, right? I mean, let's be honest. If somebody's making $16 an hour on unemployment, you offer them $20 to work. That's all there is. And if you can't afford to do that, then you need to adjust your business model. So, let's don't place the blame on any particular thing. There's always a solution to everything. But that's probably what's weighing on this labor market is, one, the apprehension that is it really safe to go back to work for a lot of people, especially older people or people with conditions, right? Regardless of whether you got the vaccination. There's a lot of information going out there that's contradictory, right? Whether it's true or not, it's out there and it affects people, whether it's the truth or not. Other than that, guys, we're waiting for that unemployment report tomorrow. We're going to release our stock of the week right after this. Yeah, so this week we're doing a fun stock, okay? This has got nothing to do with dividends and things like that, the usual stuff. This one is just a really, really fun idea, and it plays on something that's been time tested as the number one commerce, whether it's internet, whether it's a grocery store, whether it's a liquor store. This has had a place in it. But it's a fun idea. So it's a speculative idea, but it's something we wanted to share with you guys. It's something a little bit different than what we usually do on the stock of the week, right? Usually we like big balance sheets, big dividends, and stability going forward. This one, maybe take a swing for the fences on this one. So stay tuned for that one. We'll release that a few minutes after this report. But other than that, guys, let's see how we roll into the unemployment tomorrow. Netflix was, of course, a Debbie Downer, but like we've talked about before, it really had a strong balance sheet. And if you think about it, look, for you Netflix owners out there, we don't own Netflix. But if we did, this is the way I would look at it. Balance sheet came in beautiful. They beat on top and bottom numbers. Still very profitable, still growing on their profit and stuff. What hurt them is it's just like with the Apple stock, right? Everybody focuses on iPhone sales, but there's so much more to this company. Same thing with Netflix. They can make money and they can be building a war chest and all that stuff. But if their subscribers don't grow, everybody thinks it's the end of the world. But if you look at the last quarter, guys, look at the lull in content, right? Really, it hit ahead the last quarter. And you had a subscriber pool that was shrinking and shrinking and shrinking, right? When I talk about the subscriber pool, think about it. All these channels, Disney Plus, Apple Plus, Paramount, HBO Max. I mean, you can go on and on with this list. Then on top of it, the old content carriers like Hulu and Netflix. It becomes a Serengeti, right? Everybody's fighting for that one antelope, all the lions. And so it's only normal that the subscriber growth would slow. Plus, too, there's no big allure for these for a lot of these big streaming companies, especially Netflix, because Netflix lives off content, new content, original content, right? And they just haven't been able to put out anything. Ozarks, right? Ozark, it's been forever since the new season. We still haven't seen it, and things like that, right? That really puts a damper in it. And then the television shows that they carry, right? Things like Blacklist and stuff like that. Just can't get that final season out because you can't film it. And that hurts, right? It's hard to get new subscribers. Think about Game of Thrones and HBO's app. Mandalorian and Disney Pluses, right? If you can't get new episodes out there, people start to forget and people start to get bored, and nobody wants to watch the same crap over and over and over for months and months and months. And that's kind of what we came to a head with, right? The balance sheet is strong, like I said. So I think if I was a Netflix holder, I'd seriously consider maybe buying into this dip rather than selling into it. It's the old saying too, again, right? You hear me say it all the time. You buy when they sell, you sell when they buy. That's how you make money. That's the key to buying low and selling high, right? Anyways, guys, but you're seeing this whole push in the market today, and let's see if it carries through, okay? We'll do the stock of the week right after this. Other than that, you guys have a great afternoon. It's Wednesday. Let's kind of slip into the rest of the week. We'll start getting big earnings tomorrow also, too. The rest of the FANGs will start reporting going into early next week. Your Facebook reports, Amazon reports, and Alphabet, Google report, too. And then Apple will be a little while after that. And we'll see. Let's see if the leaders resume leadership here. It's interesting today, right? The FANGs have been such influential parts of these last 10 years, 15 years of bull egg. And all of a sudden you have Netflix down $50 today and the NASDAQ is still rip-roaring higher. So it's an interesting conundrum in the market. You imagine what it'll do if all these all of a sudden start kicking in and taking fire. So let's see how the rest of the earnings come out. We got some big earnings after the bell. We got a couple more tomorrow. And then we start rolling into the FANGs next week. That Apple trade that expires on Friday, we're gonna stick with that trade. We're gonna live or die with it. It's either gonna win or it's gonna be a wash at this point. But we're gonna see. We know when Apple starts to bubble and the market's right and everything's right and the cards are right, this thing can easily do 10, 11 points in a day. And that's what we're actually off the strike with about 2.5 days left. What's your trading strategy? Just kidding, guys. We don't do that. Other than that, guys, you guys have a great Wednesday. Okay. I'll see you guys for the stock of the week. Stock of the week's a fun speculative stock. So if you're looking to maybe throw a little mad money at something and take a shot, this is the one to do it on. We think we're going to take a little poke at it too. So I'll see you guys on the stock of the week. If not, I'll see you guys for tomorrow morning's update.